I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of April 13, 2015. Mr. Spang, would you please call the roll?
Colella.
Here.
Dixon. Gibbons.
Here.
Gannon. Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Maury.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Papers.
6 members present. This time we stand and pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time I'd like to turn to chair announcements. Executive session of council was held tonight before we came out, April 13, 2015. Police personnel issues and legal issues. This time we turn to the reports of the officials, and then we'll turn to Chief O'Connor's report.
Thank you, Council. Thank you. Good evening. For my report for tonight I would like to let everyone know we have started a Facebook page. So if you go to www.facebook.com/Bethel Park Police, it's up and running. We have over 1,000 likes on it, the page, I am told, and it's going to enable us to get out information and alerts in a more timely manner. The second thing I'd like to let everyone know is with the warm weather upon us, we're going to have an increase in activity, joggers and bicyclists and children playing, and we were urging all motorists to use caution during the coming season. Our Crime Watch meets on the 4th of May at 6:30 p.m. at the community center. I will be there. So if you want to come and see me, please attend. And we'll have information, criminal statistics, and crime tips to give everyone. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you very much. This time we turn to the fire chief's report. Chief Gerber.
Good evening. My name's Dave Gerber. I'm the fire chief here in Bethel Park. For the month of March, the fire department ran 26 calls for the month. Slow month compared to the first 2 months of the year. We had 1 cooking accident, 1 person stuck in an elevator, 6 natural gas leaks, 1 odor of something, electrical burning, 2 sets of wires down, 3 CO alarms, 7 fire alarms, and 5 structure fires out of town for 26 calls. I just want to mention tonight real quick that our annual donation letter went out in the last month. I know the municipality's got several calls regarding the letters about the tax money and stuff like that. Just to let everybody know and remind everybody again, when we started getting tax money last year, the tax money's paying for the new building we're building down here on Brightwood Road, the 2 other buildings that we have, one down on Clifton Road and one on Milford, and paying for the costs that are associated with those buildings, utilities and stuff. Your donations still pay for the fire trucks that we buy, all the air packs, all our gear, all the equipment and stuff we use. So the tax money that you are paying and stuff is going towards the buildings. It's not going towards the equipment that we use every day to help respond to emergencies in and around Bethel Park. So if you can donate, we still ask that you do. The tax money, like I said, that we are receiving is going towards the new building and all the other buildings and things associated with that. So with that, if you get it, I believe on the letter there should be phone numbers if you have any questions and stuff for members of the fire department to help talk to you with. If you call the municipality, they're going to tell you to call those phone numbers anyway. So feel free to call us if you want to talk. Stop down to the Clifton Road Fire Station if you have any questions or problems. You'd like to see us in person. We're there every Monday night. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're more than happy to talk to you and explain everything. Most people that we talk to that do ask questions like that and we can explain stuff to, hopefully we make it easy enough for people to understand of what's going on. So with that, the new building down on Brightwood Road, if you've been past there at all lately, it's going good. You see they've been digging like crazy and stuff. I believe I was told, and Jerry, I think you can say yes or no to this. I believe they're supposed to start pouring footers next week sometime, I believe is what I was told. So we're getting concrete real soon, so it'll look like something more than a big dirt pile at this point. So we're very excited about that. Things are moving along, and like I said, every day it's neat to drive by for us, at least to see that something's happening over there. So, and the one last thing I have this week is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. That's all of our dispatchers downstairs with the police department and stuff. They do a fantastic job for us. We are more than happy with the effort we get from them. So, Chief, if you get a chance, tell all of them downstairs that we appreciate everything they do, and they do a great job for us. So, with that, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much, Chief. Mayor Allen.
Good evening. I have actually a few things this evening. The first one, I want to remind everyone that this Wednesday, Craig Wolfley from the Pittsburgh Steelers will actually be over at the community center Wednesday, April 15th, 7 to 9 o'clock. It says, join us for a rare glimpse under the helmet with Craig Wolfley, a 10-year veteran with the Steelers, and that's presented by the Bethel Park Department of Recreation and the Bethel Park Library, and all events, again, are over at the community center. So if anyone's heard him during the regular season, I'm sure it'll be worth going to see. The second thing I wanted to bring up is our military banner program that we have in Bethel Park. This will actually be our third year. The banners have to be into the municipal building at the receptionist desk by May 1st. If you get the banners in by May 1st, they will be made and put up probably the second or third week of May, I would imagine they will start. And this year, I'm not sure what the count is, but I'm sure we're well over 200 banners that will go up and down Route 88 plus South Park Road. So May 1st is the deadline, and this is a program that we do just once a year. The next thing I have is, and I mentioned last month, is the municipality of Bethel Park, the spring cleanup, which is actually this Saturday, April 18th. You can call at the municipal building, talk to Michelle Bainham, the number 831-6800, and she's at extension 203. We will supply the trash bags, the gloves, the safety vest, and the children will get patches for their involvement in the program. And they'll be delivered hopefully by April 17th, the day before. So if anyone has an organization that would like to participate, we can use the help on that day. The next thing I have is we were actually received a community citation of recognition last week. Mr. Colella and myself went downtown to the courthouse, and I'm just going to read exactly what the citation says. Municipality of Bethel Park, Allegheny County League of Municipalities, 2015 Banner Community. Congratulations on once again being named a Banner Community by the Allegheny League of Municipalities. Your municipality has continued to provide effective, efficient, and accountable services to residents and businesses, and you have become a shining example of all municipalities of how to implement and govern in a responsible manner. This esteemed recognition is awarded to municipalities that demonstrate a commitment to training and education of its officials, active participation in professional organizations, and in their council of governments. It's sponsored by, or sponsorship of community events and routine communication with residents. The work that you do every day impacts the daily lives of your residents more than any other level of government. Thank you for all that you have done for the residents of your community and for making our community a better place to live. And it's signed the 7th day of April by County Executive Rich Fitzgerald. And I'd certainly like to commend staff because they're the ones that really put the work in to get this Banner Community Award. So thank you very much. And last but not least, I want to introduce Paulette Beeler. And she's with the Cable Board Foundation. She didn't bring any props, I don't think, like she did last time she was here, and she's going to talk about a couple fundraisers that they have. No, she did.
First, I'd like to talk to you about what we are raising money for. Cable TV sponsors a volunteer scholarship fund. Now, that's different from most scholarships. It is available to high school seniors who are going on to college or trade school or something like that, but it's available to adults. Now, that means the single mom who maybe needs to take a computer program to learn new skills, to get a better job, to take care of her family. It could be someone who's older. Maybe you retired and you want to get back into the work field, but you need to get some upgrade in your skills. You can apply for this scholarship. All you need to do is have volunteer hours somewhere in the community that can be verified. So that's what I love about this particular scholarship, is that it's available to everyone. It's not just for young people coming out of high school, going on to college. As I said, they are eligible as well. But it's a great access for the residents of the community to advance themselves in some way. Now, what we're doing this time is we are having a designer bag bingo. And we're going to hold that on May 8th, and it's going to be at the community center. It starts at 6:30. It's going to be a fun night. It's $25 for a ticket. But for that ticket, you get 30 chances to win 10 designer handbags. There will also be raffles, and there will be a cash buffet for anyone who wants to have some dinner. And even if you're not coming to play bingo, come by, take a chance on one of the raffles. There's some great gift baskets there, and I think they're doing a 50-50, and some other activities. So, try and plan to make a stop over there that night. It'll be a good time. I brought some samples of the handbags. So since we have ladies here, I'm going to let them take a look at them. I have 2 bags from Fossil. Take a look. You can take a look at the bag, and I have one that's a Coach bag. And if any of you know anything about the prices of Coach bags, if I had to go buy one, I'd have nothing left to put in it. I would just be broke. I'll collect those later. They're not gifts. Anyway, tickets are available at the library. They're available downstairs at Cable TV. They're available at EB Hardware. And I have tickets with me tonight. So if there's anyone who would like to purchase a ticket, I have them here. I'll be glad to take your money. And this is right in time for Mother's Day. And if you have a wife or a mother or a daughter who likes designer bags, this is a great opportunity to get one, because most of these bags start at least $100, if not more. So it's a good win if you do get one. If you don't find tickets at those locations, call us down at Cable TV, and we'll see to it that we get tickets to you. We're also going to have one coming up for Father's Day. It's a raffle, and it's for a $700 gas grill. And if you do want to see that, that's out at EB's Hardware, and you can take a look at that anytime you want. You can also buy your tickets there. And they're a good buy because they're only $1 a piece. Thank you.
Thank you, and I can certainly attest to those purses starting at probably more than 100. But and that's my report for this evening. Thank you, Mr. Myrie.
Thank you very much, Mayor. This time we turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. McLean.
First item under approval of minutes is regular meeting of March 9th, 2015. I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of March 9th, 2015.
Second.
There is a motion and a second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of March 9th, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Colella,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Mowry,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is approval of minutes of the special meeting of March 23rd, 2015 on the 2015 road program. I move that we approve the special meeting minutes of March 23, 2015 on the 2015 road program.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the special meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2015-2015 road program. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons,
Yes.
Harrison, Yes. McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Colella?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. This time I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls. Mr. McLean?
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 041315 in the amount of $1,493,560.64.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the bills and payrolls for municipality per bill list number 041315 in the amount of $1,493,560.64. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Colella?
Yes.
Gibbons?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the resident comment section for non-agenda items. If you'd like to come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and you have a 3-minute limit. At the end of 2 minutes, we'll acknowledge and ask you to conclude your comments.
My name is Brian Walsh. I live at 108 Cambridge Road. I'm here because I'm having a sewage problem in the back of my house. There's 2 storm sewers, and I'm trying to gain access to either one of them, and I've made numerous phone calls, and no one has gotten back to me, as there's a 3.5-inch drain that goes into the storm sewer that all the water that comes down my 150-foot driveway and off my roof goes into one pipe that's 3.5 inches round. The water backs up in front of my garage and into my garage, and I've made numerous phone calls, and no one will return my call.
Okay, I will be in touch with you. I know we had discussions last fall, but I will give you a call tomorrow and we can discuss it again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else, resident comment, would like to speak? Hearing none, can we turn to general policy and finance and Mr. McLean?
First item under the agenda is an ordinance referendum to amend the Home Rule Charter of the Municipality of Bethel Park. I move that we approve the ordinance authorizing placement of a proposed amendment to the Home Rule Charter, providing that the police chief report directly to the municipal manager as a referendum question for consideration by Bethel Park voters at the regular election to be held on November 3rd, 2015.
Second.
There is a motion and a second that we approve the ordinance authorizing placement of a proposed amendment to the Home Rule Charter, providing that the police chief report directly to the municipal manager as a referendum question for consideration by Bethel Park voters at the regular election to be held on November 3rd, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Harrison.
I favor this change. I was an elected member, of the Home Rule Charter Commission, and I freely admitted that we made a mistake having the chief of police report to council. In my opinion, it just hasn't worked. It's tough to have 9 bosses and figure out how to react. The other comment I have is I still don't understand why we have this, what I think is an unnecessary Home Rule Charter group to review the Home Rule Charter, but I don't understand why we act on one item which can't go on the ballot until November the 5th. And I don't know, but I presume there may be others to go on the ballot before we get to the point where we get to the cutoff. But I will vote for it because I think it's a good change. Thank you.
Mr. McLean.
Mr. Mowry?
Yeah, just to talk about this question, I fully support it also. And just for the record, the Home Rule Charter Commission was started probably nearly a year ago to review the charter. I think it was the consensus of this group to go out and get people involved as well as members of council. There's been some chatter up here from the dais that the committee's illegal, improperly done, which is simply not true, by the way. And I think it's interesting tonight, Mr. Harrison questions why we're doing this now. But Mr. Harrison supported council in sending this question as we change police chiefs to the Home Rule Charter Commission for their review. And we asked, and Mr. Harrison was part of this, to expedite this question so we can get it on the November ballot. So we went and we did as he requested, and now he's wants to play up here to the cameras like there was something wrong with what was done. But yet in the caucus room when we discussed it, he fully supported going through the process. So having said that, I hope this clarifies a little bit that, I too will be supporting this issue tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. O'Brien.
I will also be supporting this. At last month's meeting, we had a resident stand at the microphone and raise some questions about the Home Rule Study Commission. I was unable before then to attend meetings because I was tending to other issues. I was on the search committee for finding the new chief, and I also was working very diligently with the issues of Logan School being redeveloped, reassigned within the neighborhoods. So I really wasn't paying very close attention to the Home Rule Study Commission. The man that was in charge of this, Mr. McLean, is a man of very high integrity. I have known him for quite a while and never known anything but that from him. But knowing that, I decided to go to the meeting to see for myself. I attended the meeting, and what I found at this meeting was a highly professional, well-run meeting with a commission that had a plan and a focus. The people that were on this commission are longtime residents, very intelligent, very committed volunteers. And Mr. McLean actually gave them homework, and they actually did it. Some of their homework was to review other communities, similar in size, across the country, to see what governs their community, to see what they use as a plan for government. It somewhat reminded me of our founding fathers reviewing different governments before they chose the one that we now have. And they were reviewing, trying to find ideas if they work, if they don't work. And then what's interesting in the commission too was our solicitor was there to talk about any questions that these other forms of government would have, which is wonderfully interactive. And then the interesting thing was that I found that our staff was also not there that night, but what I heard from Mr. Spagnol as comments from weeks before is that these individuals, our staff, are the people that work under this Constitution or under this form of government every day, so they're the most familiar with it. So it was a fact-finding, it was a wonderful conversation, it was interacting, it was wholesome, it was honorable, it was open to the public, and even Mr. McLean ran a wonderful meeting. He asked everyone, including that resident that spoke here that night, do you have any questions? I want to compliment Mr. McLean and the staff and Mr. McTiernan and the volunteers on the Home Rule Study Commission. I think it's a wonderful thing. It's healthy. It's new eyes on a form of government. Maybe they may not find anything, and our government in this town is run very well, but maybe it might be changed a little bit to adapt to changing times. But I think it's healthy. I was very excited. I was very happy to be there and be a part of it, and my compliments to all involved. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Any other discussion? Mr. McLean.
Just a couple of comments about the Home Rule Study Commission. Mr. O'Brien, thank you very much for the comments. I want to explain one thing about why this particular proposed change is being brought forward now for the electorate to vote on. The commission, as Mr. Mowry indicated, was announced about a year ago. We've had about 5 or 6 meetings. We'll likely have another 5 or 6 meetings. We're not trying to hurry through this. We're trying to carefully consider the possible changes. It's possible that we will come up with additional changes. It's possible we won't come up with any more at all. But we won't be in a position to know that, to finish our review and come back with our report to council in time to get any additional questions on the ballot in November. So it's not that we won't be able to do that. But this particular question was one that council in particular was interested in looking at. There had been some discussion about it, and we were at the time in between our chiefs, and it made sense to look at this in that at that time, separated from any issues of personality of who the chiefs were or anything, that this is just looking at, is this the right way to have our police chief report to the municipal manager? I, too, am going to support it. I think it's the right way to structure the way the police department reports and the organization of the entire government. The last thing I want to say is I want to thank Mr. Schweich, who's in the audience tonight, for coming to the meeting. I had invited him to come, and I want to thank him for attending. I welcome Mr. Schweich to come to our additional meetings. I thought you and I had a very good conversation at the end of that meeting, and I welcome that. It's exactly that participation. And in fact, Mr. Schweich, you sent me a letter recently, and at the end of it you indicated that a study commission that would be looking at the charter and inviting people to attend and propose any changes is something that you would find very commendable. And I think you and I are on the same page. That's the process that we're engaged in, and that is exactly what we are planning to do. So I thank you again for coming to the meeting and attending. I'm finished. Do you want to come to the microphone?
Yeah, we'll defer if you could state your name.
You know, this is for you, Mr. McLean. At the end of the letter, we're not going to go into the whole letter tonight because there's probably some other stuff coming out. But I did tell you about the commission studying the home rule charters of other communities. And I did say that it was commendable, and I totally understand that, because by doing that, you could even improve the one that we have now. And I have no problem with that. And I think I explained to you that night in our conversation. We're not as far from, we're not disagreement on a lot of things, but my whole point was, and unless you want me to just do it in the, I don't want to comment on the letter unless you want me to do that now. Well,
it's all right. I have it. I know, okay. and I'm happy to talk with you about it at any
My
point.
whole thing with that was that with the commission, if you work with it, like you stated, you work with it all the time, you know how it works and how it doesn't work. I did that with the when I was with the Postal Workers Union. I had to know how the contract worked, and that was our charter, the contract. I had to know how that worked, and my contract was 240 pages, 243 pages, that I knew how it worked, where it didn't work, the ins and outs, and how I could do it. And that was the whole point that I had. Why would you, if no one has made it any suggestions to change the charter since they work with it and have no problem with it, why? And then also with the 5 council members being on the commission, coming back, and any suggestions that the commission puts forward, that those same 5 are going to vote on it. That's the problem I have with it. I still have that problem.
Understood. I think we might have this disagreement. We looked at this charter that's been around for 35 years, and without having any specific particular problem, thought it makes sense to just take a step back and look at it. We might change a couple of things. We might not change that much, but it just made sense to do that. And obviously there's one item currently before council which was found to be appropriate for a change. So, yeah, nobody is coming into this with some preset agenda, and I know you had a question about that, but that's not what it is. It's exactly the kind of open inquiry, take a look at it, see if it can be improved that you were mentioning at your end of your letter. So there we're on the same page.
Okay, you and I have talked, and I, like I said, we're not that far apart. We're really not. But I was promised some information last council meeting by Mr. Hannon when Mr. Murray's absence, and I still haven't got it. And, well, he knows that.
Yeah, you'll be getting that. And just to clarify, too, for the record, that this was set up under the direction of the solicitor, and certainly if there was any potential legal issue, a conflict with the way it was set up, I'm quite certain the solicitor wouldn't be attending meetings on behalf or to work with the municipality on that.
I understand that. And when Mr. Harrison put forth a question in October, I believe it was, there was a vote taken for the question not to be answered because it was going to take a whole big long thing. And I've heard Mr. McTiernan speak on many, many occasions, not just here at the meeting I did attend with you, on TV, and other council meetings where he is a solicitor. And he is very knowledgeable and he speaks very eloquently on the law. And he could have answered that question with a simple yes or no that night. And
Mr. Sweets, let me just address that because I know you've asked that. The question that was put on the floor in October was, are we going to ask Mr. McTiernan to prepare a formal written legal opinion? And that was the question that the consensus was taken on. And that's the question that I thought was unnecessary and was going to incur unnecessary expense. I have no problem at all with Mr. McTiernan providing his opinion. He could do it right now if we wanted to, and doing it on the floor. But that was not the question that was put in front of us in October, and I would have said that question was perfectly okay.
I think what I heard that night, or I wasn't here that night, or I was, but my mind was like yours in other areas and in my agenda. But what I heard was, I don't think I want to ask for a written one. This is what Mr. Harrison said. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't want to ask him for another big long thing because I'll probably get another Philadelphia lawyer answer. And
you can check the minutes. Yeah.
Well, I'll talk back to the video. That's
Okay, just to clarify, Mr. McTiernan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are we doing anything improper with the way the commission's set up? You know, thank you.
Mr.
The answer
Chairman?
is no. Mr. O'Brien.
Just to let people know that 5 members are on the commission. The other 4 members are welcome to attend, and the mayor's welcome to attend, and all the residents of Bethel Park are welcome to attend. And that's the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In
Mr.
this issue,
Murray?
Mr. Harrison.
I just want to comment, I think it's interesting that the councilman sitting next to me talks about he doesn't want to waste money on getting solicitor opinions, but yet he's got a home rule charter committee there that all the minutes I've read, the solicitors at the meeting. I got no reason to think that's pro bono. I don't know, but I just recognize that he's there because his name shows up in the minutes.
McLean.
Mr. McTiernan is there at the meetings for the very specific purpose of guiding us with respect to reviewing the charter. There's a specific role for him to fulfill. That is a lot different than asking him to prepare what I think we all thought was an unnecessary opinion, since he can just tell us what the opinion was, particularly if, once it's provided, as has happened before, it's not even accepted by the person who asked for it. And that's why I thought it was unnecessary.
Well, Mr. Murray, I get a second bite at the apple according to Home Rule Charter. It's interesting that I see that opinion expressed, but this council was favorable to him writing an opinion about my allegation that we violated a Home Rule Charter. So that was favorable to the other members of council. That was okay. Something I thought should be done, it wasn't okay. Thank you.
I don't want to go back and forth, but what he's saying is incorrect, as usual. The solicitor gave us advice on the whole referendum question and process. That was the information was provided to this group. As part of the developing, we asked the solicitor to develop the language for the referendum question. And as Mr. McLean said, no matter what the solicitor is going to say or would say in a letter, Mr. Harrison wouldn't agree with it anyhow, so that's a moot point. We have sat through several meetings where the solicitors explained to us the charter, what we're doing, and if some people choose not to agree or believe that, and that's fine, that's his prerogative, but we're governed by the majority of this group. Okay, if there's no other...
One last item, sorry. I also want to thank Pauletta Beeler, who came to one of the meetings we had, and in fact the public hearing that we had about the matter that's currently before council, and so I want to thank you for attending as well, and welcome anyone else to come.
Thank you very much. Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is appointment to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services. I move that we appoint Jim Miller to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31, 2017.
There is a motion and a second that we appoint Jim Miller to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31st, 2017. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is appointment to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services. I move that we appoint Heidi Brugman Payne to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31, 2016.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we appoint Heidi Brugman Payne to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31st, 2016. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury.
Yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
Next is appointment to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services. I move that we appoint Donna Marie Murphy to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31, 2015.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to appoint Donna Marie Murphy to the Board of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services for a term to expire on December 31st, 2015. Any questions on this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Colella,
Yes.
Givens, Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is feasibility study, EPM Architecture. I move that we approve the contract with EPM Architecture for a proposed fixed fee of $45,000 for a feasibility study of the Public Works facility.
Second.
There is a motion and a second that we approve the contract with EPM Architecture for a proposed fixed fee of $45,000 for a feasibility study of the Public Works facility. Real quickly, this is we're engaging an architect to evaluate our Public Works facility, and believe it or not, the facility is much older than I am. Some find that hard to believe. But we really felt from a council perspective that it was time that we look at it. The evaluation of this current facility is going to be done hopefully within the next 3 to 4 months, and it will be returned back to council for us to make decisions. We certainly aren't going to start anything until we get the fire department done for sure, and if we do anything, probably won't be till the end of 2016 or 17, depending on what the recommendations are. Is there any other discussion from council? Hearing none, Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Givens,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. McLean.
There are no further agenda items.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any additional items?
Mr. Murray.
Mr. Harrison.
Being an old scouter, it warmed my heart to see a Boy Scout in our audience. I'll just mention that I think the goal of any boy that joins Boy Scouts is to become an Eagle Scout. To become an Eagle Scout, there's certain required merit badges you have to have, and then there's others that you can take out of interest or whatever. But the point is that a scout has to attend a public meeting as a requirement of a merit badge. And so we welcome him, and tell your buddies to come in. We always like to see the scouts make advancement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we turn to planning and zoning, and Mr. McLean.
There are no items on the agenda under planning and zoning.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. O'Brien.
as we all know, and it's in my district, the Foodland on 88 closed. The staff and I, we did our best to try and work with what was there, but the sides were so close, so far away. It's a sad thing. The Foodland store was there for a very long time, and the people in Ward 6 and Ward 1 and people of Bethel Park really relied on that store, and it's very sad to see it go. We'll stay, I will stay, and the staff will stay very close to the issue to look and see what's going on, and I personally will let the citizens around there know what's going on with the property and the future developments and all that thing. But let's like to say thank you to the family that ran Foodland for so many years and was a vital part of this community, and we're sorry to see it close. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Any additional comments? Hearing none, we turn to health, safety, and welfare, and Mr. O'Brien.
There are no items, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Any additional items? Hearing none, we turn to public works and maintenance, and Ms. Gibbons.
Two items. ADA access to Miners Park contract. I move that we approve the ADA access to Miners Park contract to Satira Construction in the amount of $9,840 with funding available from the SHACOG grant in the amount of $5,092 in accordance with the municipal engineer's correspondence dated March 18th, 2015.
Second?
There is a motion and second that we approve the ADA access to Miners Park contract to Citrina Construction, the amount of $9,040 with the funding available from the Shea Call grant in the amount of $5,092 in accordance with the municipal engineer's correspondence dated March 18, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Givens.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Sodium bicarbonate contract. I move that we award a 3-year contract for sodium bicarbonate, 50-pound bags, at the Piney Fork Wastewater Treatment Plant to Univar USA, Inc. for a low bid of 28 cents per pound for 2015, 29 cents per pound for 2016, and 30 cents per pound for 2017, in accordance with the Director of Community Services correspondence dated April 9, 2015.
Second?
There's a motion and a second that we award a 3-year contract for sodium bicarbonate 50-pound bags at the Piney Fork Wastewater Treatment Plant to Univar USA, Inc. for a low bid of 28 cents per pound in 2015, 29 cents per pound for 16, and 30 cents per pound for 2017, in accordance with the Director of Community Services correspondence dated April 9, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Ms. Gibbons.
No other items on the agenda.
Are there any additional items? Hearing none, the motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned, everyone. Good night.